A warm welcome to all the Gemini rising signs of the zodiac to your June astrology on Cosmic Go 101. Trust you're doing well. Thank you for your ongoing support. Clicking on this video and just listening to the astrology really does help my little Bubba channel grow. So thank you in advance for being here. Okay, June, astrology June. Now, your chart ruler Mercury this month is beginning in the zodiac sign of Gemini. It's a domicile zodiac sign. So your chart ruler Mercury is well positioned. And then this month goes into Cancer. And then after Cancer, it goes into Leo. So this month, Mercury, your avatar in this incarnation, Gemini rising sign, is shifting into 3 different zodiac signs, which means 3 different houses are going to be going through a change and you're going to be all up in it because Mercury is your chart ruler. So forewarned is forearmed. June is going to be a busy month for the Gemini rising signs. Okay, summer solstice begins in the northern hemisphere on June 21st. Winter solstice in the southern hemisphere on June 21st. So a change of season. It's the solstice, equinoxes. We're following the path of the sun through the calendar year. When we get to the solstices, it's a change of season. It opens up a 3-month window of change. So change is going on for you, others around you, and in the world. It's just a natural annual progression that happens every year. And it's also June, halfway point of the year. How are we tracking with our New Year's resolutions? If we had any, what changes do we need to make? How do we need to recalibrate, streamline our lives so we can get to the end of the year feeling accomplished? And if we're feeling a little bit blown around by the wind, June's a great month to go, what do I need to do to keep the momentum up, keep me engaged, to see a goal come to fruition? Or what do I need to drop and let go of? What obstacles are in my way and they're not working? Great month to really just tune into what's working and what's not. And that's happening for everyone when we get to the solstice point in June. All right. Astrologically, there's a lot going on. On the 8th and the 9th of June, these 2 days of the month are the biggest. Astrologically, we'll talk about why. But the 8th and 9th of June, if we like forewarned is forearmed, I'm an astrologer. I sort of know the astrological weather. But because I know the 8th and 9th of June are really big days astrologically with the planets in alignments and the aspects that they're making and what zodiac signs these are occurring in, it indicates that the 8th and 9th of June is going to be very changeable for everyone, not only Gemini rising sign, everyone. These 2 days of the month are quite active and loud. All right. So with that in mind, let's talk about your chart ruler first before we get into the astrology of June. Mercury's in Gemini, opening up the month and continuing its transit in your first house, Gemini rising sign. You know, Mercury well positioned in Gemini in domicile in the first house through Hellenistic astrology in the helm. We've got a well positioned, well rounded Mercury. Mercury's sharp, quick, adept, quick on its feet, quick thinker, mover, shaker, can juggle many balls in the air and still crack a smile for a photo. That sort of energy. Mercury in Gemini is just on, just lit, very capable, very adept. And in your first house, for you as a Gemini rising sign, I would say you're more than capable of stepping into new shoes, a new role, ready to launch or learn something new. You may have started something new for yourself with your body, with your health, with your appearance, with your character, identities, like shifting gears. You're just ready to open up. So you might have started something new for yourself because Mercury is still in Gemini in your first house, opening up the month of June. If you've got many balls in the hair and you're in thinking mode, what do I do? Where am I going to put my energy, my best foot forward? Then that could be happening also for the Gemini rising signs where you're trying to pick a lane. What's the best option for you? Or where do you put all your energy into something? So you might be really thinking about launching into something new as well with Mercury in Gemini in your first house if you haven't already begun something new. So that's how Mercury is opening up June for you. And as we know, it's quickly changing. So keeping that in mind, So just keep that in your back pocket. It's like your footnote. My guy is still in my first house, well positioned, strongly positioned. So I'm in a commanding position to make decisions that are organic to me, that feel right to me, that are going to fill my cup up, and they've got some sort of merit. When I exchange all my energy into something, I'm going to get something quite fruitful back. So whether you've started something fruitful or you're about to, that's where you're sitting, opening up the month of June. On the 6th of June, Venus ingresses into Taurus, into your 12th house until July 4. So we have Venus in domicile. When you've got a planet in domicile, like your chart ruler Mercury is right now, Venus can do Venusian things quite well. So Venus in Taurus, well, what Venus can do really well in Taurus is relax, chill out, take a time, be embodied, enjoy food, wine, sex, fun, pleasure. Venus can do that really well when she's in that earthy, practical zodiac sign of Taurus, which is just relax and enjoy life. But this transit's happening for you in your 12th house. So that's really interesting because that 12th house is the house of isolation, solitude. It's the house where we can lose ourselves, lose control. That's the 12th house. And Venus, when she's in Taurus, then overindulgence. Overindulgence is how I see this transit for the Gemini rising signs with Venus in the 12th, because if we do things in isolation and solitude that are yummy, which is like have more chocolate cake than we need or more wine than we need, and no one really sees it, but we know it's not doing us any favors, but we do it. It's that sort of transit where we devil may care with Venus and Taurus in a 12th house. So you may be extra luxurious and indulgent with this transit with Venus in your 12th house from the 6th of June to July 4. You do you. Okay, now on to the 8th of June. And when I opened up the video, I said the 8th and the 9th. These are the 2 days where it's on, literally, for you and for everyone around us on the planet. Now, as above, so below. So the 8th, Mercury conjuncts Jupiter. So your chart ruler is, for better words, in Jupiter's face, like right up in it. And Jupiter's really optimistic. It's got a lot of faith and belief in itself. And when you come up and have a conversation with Jupiter on the 8th, because your chart ruler is conjuncting Jupiter, this is taking a leap of faith that can be uncharacteristic for you. So you might be biting off more than you can chew or can handle on the 8th. It's sort of like, oh, I'm sick of thinking about it. I'm just going to go for it. So if you've begun something with Mercury in the first house, or you've been thinking about beginning something, I think the 8th of June is the day when you go, yeah, I feel like I'm ready to launch. So stepping into new shoes is what I feel for you on the 8th of June with Mercury conjunct Jupiter. After Mercury conjuncts Jupiter, we then have your chart ruler ingressing into Cancer until the 26th of June. So a really quick transit. Your chart ruler is moving really quickly through the second house. And that second house of Cancer is really emotional. It's quite nurturing and loving. Cancer is interested in filling its cup up and going for its heart's desire and takes action to get what it wants. So when your chart ruler Mercury gets into Cancer, into your second house, then you're focused on making sure you get your cups and your needs filled here. And that's to do with your livelihood, your work, your skills, learning new things, anything to do with asset and possessions. Your focus, if you will, from the 8th to the 26th of June is, does what I do, my 3D world, my actual tangible things in my life, emotionally support me? Is it my heart's desire? And if it's not, then what do I need to do to feel good about my finances? So you'll be more inclined to get out of the head and into the heart with this transit. And that might be a little bit um, out of character for you when it's all about the heart and not going with the head. Not being logical instead of being more heartfelt might be a little bit strange for you. so be it. It's a quick transit. So you'll be emotionally really driven towards money and the tangible things in your life with this transit. So you might be really just, oh, what's coming in and out of my checking account? How does that emotionally make me feel? Do I feel safe? Do I feel secure? Maybe, maybe not. But what do I do about it? I can't think with my head with this transit. I need to go with my feelings here. Does it feel right? My money, my livelihood? Does it feel good? My daily checking account? Or and if it doesn't, what do I need to change here? So interesting transit for you with your chart ruler going into Cancer. You might be more prone to speak from the heart instead of the head with this transit. Moving on to the ninth, Jupiter ingresses into Cancer into your second house, joining your chart ruler Mercury, well, at least until the 26th. But Jupiter will be here in your second house for a year and 2 weeks until June 30, 2026. Jupiter's exalted in Cancer. We've got a well positioned Jupiter in your house of finance. And opportunity is ripe to build on your skills, educate yourself, travel, to accumulate new resources. It's a beneficial transit for building, really building and streamlining your spending habits, what's coming in and out of your daily checking account. Anything to do with assets and possessions. So purchasing things that support you. Jupiter makes it easier for you to get the goods with this transit. So anything tangible, you need a new car, a new computer, a new phone. Those things become uh, less irritating to upgrade with Jupiter in Cancer. And you may have some serendipitous moments where you you have assets or a possession just fall into your lap with this transit. It's not going to happen for all Gemini rising signs, but Jupiter can bring you assets and possessions in your second house or add value to your livelihood and your work and your skill sets that bring in resources. So it's a nice transit for you, Gemini rising, with Jupiter exalted in Cancer in your second house from the 9th of June to the 30th of June 2026. Carpe diem, seize the day. How do you want your financial space to look after a year and a couple of weeks? Jupiter's sort of opening the doors and going, here's the opportunities. Go for them. You gotta actually step into the opportunities when they present themselves, not just sit back. Okay. On the 9th, we also have retrograde Pluto square Venus and your chart ruler Mercury square Saturn and Neptune. Yeah, uh, there's a lot going on here astrologically. Okay, well, let's just talk about retrograde Pluto squaring off with Venus. So, if you're indulging behind closed doors and doing those naughty things that you go, yeah, but it's too much fun. I really like this. Well, the ninth, what could be disrupting um, your sense of pleasure and indulgence, or what's not serving you enjoying yourself so much behind closed doors and being indulgent, it's not helping something to do with the ninth house, which is your religion, your spiritual beliefs, travel, education, anything foreign or foreigners. It's sort of not helping because it's a square. It's not helping going back to old habits or you expanding and growing. So if you're feeling on the ninth that I really am dropping the ball with my commitments, this will be the day where you might want to chuck out a bad habit and pull your socks up. It's that sort of feeling is what I'm getting with retrograde Pluto and Venus, because Pluto retrograde is sort of doubling down on um, idolizing and being focused on opening up to community and people and society. And when he's squaring off with Venus, which is about pleasure and relationships, and Venus just loves being self indulgent, especially in Taurus, then This just looks like a day where you're not showing up, or people might start going, look, you're giving me a lot of lip service, but I'm not seeing a lot of action. So it's that sort of day on the 9th. So best foot forward if you're trying to impress people and get people on your side, Gemini rising signs. Okay. Try not to be too contradicting. That metaphor, do what I say, not what I do, won't really work well here on the 9th. And then your chart ruler Mercury um, is squaring off with Saturn and Neptune. So this is you, Mercury, um, just not playing nice with friends or groups or people, um, or even someone that helps you or is trying to help you, give you a leg up. It's like you just disagree. So you're not really interested, I think, on the 9th, in playing nice or settling for second best, especially when it comes to something to do with your values or your financial position. So if you are feeling like you're in an environment or around people that are really laying down the anvil and you don't agree with them, then this would be the day to speak up, or where the differences really do come to head with your chart ruler squaring off with Saturn and Neptune. So the 9th of June, all in all, is a very complex day. So how do you work with that? Do due diligence. Show up when you say you're going to show up. Mean what you say. And if you don't agree with things that are going on in your space, then talk about it or change it. Don't just get into an argument, slam the door, shut people down. Communication is necessary on the 9th of June if you're feeling that things are grating on you. So that would be the astrological advice. Try not to bury your head in the sand. On the 11th of June, we have our first lunation of the month. So we are tracking the moon cycle, and this is a full moon in Sagittarius on the 11th of June. It's happening at 20 degrees, and it's in his seventh house of relationships. So, full moon, when the moon's at its peak, it's its brightest, it's a culmination point where it's at a peak. It's where things are really ripe. And we think, oh, things are really ripe in my relationship house. And the chart ruler of Sagittarius is actually in the second house of Cancer, exalted, as is your chart ruler Mercury. So this really bodes well for something tangible, like an asset, a possession, something to do with work, or a course of study, or something that you've been learning, has its moment in the spotlight, has its peak. And this could be a celebration of connecting with a partner of any nature that's going to boost your finances in a tangible way that's quite beneficial for you, or a partner benefits from ending a debt, or they get a fantastic job offer, or they finally get their inheritance, or they have a windfall. It's that sort of full moon where the emotions are really high and peaking, and something is ripe for the taking. So this is really beneficial for anything to do with purchasing a home, relocating for a job, starting a new business. It's that sort of full moon where everything is really bountiful and available for you to cash in on, with you and a partner, or a partner benefiting quite abundantly on the 12th, or sorry, the 11th of June. It actually is a fantastic full moon. Enjoy it. Moving on to the 13th and the 16th. So this is 3 days. We've got Uranus squaring Mars. So As square is attention, and Uranus is the awakener. Like he shakes things up, and he's in the 12th house with Venus in Taurus. Now, Taurus is a pretty laid back zodiac sign in of itself. It's not really interested in a lot of change, but we've got Uranus shaking things up and trying to change things up that is going on behind closed doors, because that 12th house is about isolation and solitude, and where we let our freak flags fly. Sometimes it's not good for us, but sometimes we need downtime. But Uranus is sort of shaking that 12th house up, and it's squaring off with Mars in Leo in your third house. So this is siblings, travel, and education. So these 3 days of the month, could be a little bit, for better words, hard to ignore how things that you do in private and by yourself is really affecting relationships with siblings, travel plans, or even education, whether you're an educator or you're learning something. So these 3 days can be where it's just hard to get going, or it's just hard to ignore that something really needs to change regarding habits that you engage with behind closed doors, are really not helping, something to do with siblings, travel, or education, something to do with your immediate environment. So this could be like, you can't have 12 cones before you go to school, or drive the car, or have a conversation with a sibling that's really serious. It's that sort of thing. Or you can't be under the influence of drugs, or you can't be, avoiding the obvious. So watch out for procrastination on the 13th to the 16th of June. You might need to show up, or at least acknowledge that all things that are indulgent and fun behind the scenes may not be all beneficial to you when you've got to get out and about in the world. Moving on to the 17th, Mars ingresses into Virgo. So this is important for you, because Mars is now going to be transiting in your fourth house. And that's the subterranean part of your house. It's an angular part of your natal chart, Gemini rising signs. And the fourth house is the house of rest. It's the house where it's about sleep and where we chill out. It's the house of family and real estate and property, parents. It's about the home. And Mars will be here in that fourth house until the 6th of August from the 17th. So this transit can feel like, it's too active in the home. There's too many arguments in the home. There's too much action in the home. Some may thrive on that. And in Virgo, it's about being meticulous. Give me the details. What do I need to fine tune? Where do I need to cleanse and purify? Where can I benefit from being more structured? And where can I build something so it's like a harvest that sustains me for the long-term future? So this transit, whilst it can be irritating, because Mars is go, 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 and in fastidious, detail-oriented Virgo in the first house, this indicates that real estate opportunities or concerns in the home and family become really heightened. So if you want to put a house on the market, bringing people in and out of the home, it's going to be a lot of activity where you think, I just would need to rest and be at peace. Mars has different ideas when he's transiting in the fourth house. He wants to really ruffle the feathers and change things. So this could be like relocating, being more focused on, setting the ship of your house just right, being the colonel. You want to get things just right in the home. So it can be a little bit where you're feeling, as a Gemini rising sign, like someone in a family home is being a little bit extra, being very dominant and fussy and irritating with this transit. But it is great for home renovations, streamlining anything financial in the home, putting the home on the market, or buying a home. Mars and Virgo is good for having an eye for a fantastic deal. So it's quite a good transit, but because it's the fourth house of rest, just feels like from the 17th to the 6th of August, it's going to be a little bit on in your family life and things that you do behind closed doors in private when it comes to your family and home life with this transit. Moving on to the 21st, so it's now the solstice, summer solstice in the northern hemisphere and winter in the southern. So that's a 3-month season change going on here from the 21st of June. And the sun is ingressing into Cancer, joining your ruling planet Mercury and Jupiter in the second house. And the sun will be here until the 22nd of July. So for 4 weeks, the sun's lighting up, beaming on, if you will, the second house of finance, possessions, and your livelihood. So this bodes well again. We know Jupiter's exalted here doing very well. And we know your ruling planet Mercury is here where you're all up in your feels and really being quite aware of emotional security and how you feel about your tangible world, and you're focused on that. But when the sun gets in here, uh, this is more so your concern. Your finances become really loud. Think of the sun in your face. You can't miss it. So you really can't miss financial realities that are happening for you. So if you need to get down to brass tacks financially, anything to do with skills, your livelihood, your 3D world, assets and actual possessions, this is the transit to get down to brass tacks. What's working, what's not, what's coming in and out of your checking account. Where are you emotionally hemorrhaging too much money, and where do you need to rein it in? This is a fantastic transit to do it, having your eyes wide open on your financial space from 21st of June until July 22nd. So if you know this transit's coming up and you think, when am I going to have the energy to put pen to paper and crunch numbers, then plan from the 21st to the 22nd of July to do it. Anything to do with financial documents of any financial nature, this is where you can really have the time and presence to actually engage with it a lot more organically, because the sun here gives you vibrancy in life. Okay. On the 24th, the sun then conjuncts Jupiter exalted in Cancer. Again, bodes well for relationships or partnerships of any kind that are beneficial, a financial payoff, a financial opportunity really does land for you and or a partner on the 24th of June. This conjunction to it sets off a new 12-month cycle. So the sun won't be back in Cancer for another year. And so I like to look at astrology from the lens of, when is the wind at my back and when have I got potential pitfalls? So from the 24th for a year, because the sun will take another year before it gets back here in your financial house, I would work with this from the lens of, where can I learn to invest? That's how I would look at this day. Where are my financial opportunities for growth that is going to sustain me for a long time? So again, it sort of doubles down with working with the sun in Cancer, with getting down to brass tacks with your finances. And on the 24th, you can go, yeah, okay, I'm going to take on that mortgage, or I'm going to take on that expense, or I'm going to invest in that course. I'm going to start a new job. I'm going to really look at the benefits of growing with an asset or something tangible in my life. So the 24th would be the day where you could feel confident that you're moving in the right direction. Especially in Cancer, you're emotionally on time, if you will, to open up your financial world in a practical sense. Okay, there's a lot of information in this video, astrologically wise, yeah? We know this. But just take a breath here for me. Just really take this in. Venus is in Taurus. She is the lesser benefic. She's benefic, which means she is bringing life. She gives life. She's bountiful. Okay, she brings things to us that are easy, that we feel organically in line with Venus. And she's in domicile in Taurus. So the lesser benefic Venus it couldn't be happier in Taurus. I'm just talking astrology wise. Jupiter, the greater benefic, is exalted in Cancer. These two benefic planets are well positioned in the month of June. So apart from you, other people around you as well are also getting the goods. So we've got two benefic planets that are so content. So astrologically speaking, things are pretty good in the month of June. I think you might reflect back on this month as a standout month, really, because the two benefics are so well positioned. Okay. On the 25th, we have our second lunation. The first one was fantastic. Well, I sincerely hope it was for you. And then the 25th, we have a new moon, and this one's in Cancer, joining Mercury and Jupiter in your second house, and this one's at 4 degrees. So new moons, a new emotional connection is building. It's just starting. It's like planting the seed. And that second house, so Cancer, it's an emotional new beginning. And that could be with anything in your life that has a financial aspect to it, something tangible. So you're all in, if you will, in starting a new journey. That could be a new residence, a new place, starting something new with your body, great for pregnancy. A mother has a new beginning. The moon, new in Cancer, mother, nurturing feelings, just looks fantastic. And in the second house of values and 3D possessions and finance, bodes well for growth. But you're all in it. You're on board. So the 25th of June would be a day to quietly contemplate and almost relish the opportunity for feeling a lot better about your tangible world. Really nice on the 25th of June. Take a beat. Enjoy it. Moving on to the 26th, your chart ruler Mercury now moves out of Cancer, your second house. So you've done what you can. You've got the building blocks, and now Mercury goes into Leo, into your third house until the 2nd of September. So now the focus is like, oh, I've done what I can. I know what emotionally ticks my boxes. I know my finances. I know what I want to build on. I know what I've got. I know how to move forward. I feel confident. And now you're moving out into the world and you're actualizing, you're talking, you're communicating, you're on the move. You're sort of seeking out, how do you keep this freight train going? Well, that's got to do with marketing, putting yourself out there, unashamedly promoting yourself within your local community or within your immediate space. Whether you have to do that through travel, education, or leaning on siblings, the benefits are closer at hand than you may anticipate when it comes to growing and flourishing with your finances, your livelihood, and things that you value. You can sort of capitalize closer to home than you anticipate. But that does forebode with your chart ruler Mercury going into Leo that you've got to be involved in getting out of the feeling part of it and now taking some action. Where do you need to keep the fire burning in Leo to keep you engaged in showing up? What skills and talents do you have that can benefit others? Well, it might be in your local environment that you can market yourself and pitch your ideas, and someone snaps you up with this transit. So I think you're moving and shaking here from the 26th of June to the 2nd of September. It's sort of striking while the iron's hot and getting yourself out there, really immersing yourself in learning and opening up in your community, whatever community that may be. So you're on the move from the 26th of June to the 2nd of September. And in Leo, this is all about not being shy. Just get it out there and say, look, I've got the goods and here's why. And have something that benefits other people and get them on board. Really good for marketing and pitching yourself. Anything to do with travel, education, and siblings, they can become more focused as well. So that's why I think maybe you're on the move more, or just bringing in information that can benefit you from the 26th to the 2nd of September. It's a really nice transit for you. Moving on to the 29th, from the 29th to the 30th, so 2 days, we've got your chart ruler Mercury standing off with retrograde Pluto. And so you're opposed. So you're looking across the room, if you will. So just imagine you're on one side of the room and you're looking at the exit door. So you're looking over there. So that's an opposition and you're distant from it. So these 2 days can be where you're just feeling maybe that you're biting off more than you can chew. You're not really feeling the belief and the faith that you can go the distance with travel, education, or with siblings. That would be very subjective in many different ways, but you just might be feeling that potentially that you're biting off more than you can chew, or something's not fitting when it comes to anything religious, anything to do with travel, foreigners, foreign places, or higher education. So you might be at odds with well laid plans to open up. So these 2 days can feel like, oh, do I really want to, or do I want to go solo? Do I really need the help or the assistance that's outside of me, or do I just want to keep it singular and keep it to myself? So these 2 days can feel like you just might be ready to pull back from overcommitting. And that's fine, but if you're not all in with something or someone, then at least let them know or make some decisions so you're not sitting in it too long and looping. So make some firm decisions moving forward of connecting or disconnecting from the 29th to the 30th, because once you make your mind up, um, you'll feel better. Thinking about things is great, and doing a pros and cons columns is great, but needing to make a decision is the most important thing instead of thinking about it. So these 2 days can have you thinking all up in your head, but moving forward, it'd be wise to make a choice to get out of maybe a sticky situation that's been grating on you for a little while. Retrograde Pluto squared off with Venus earlier in the month, so that might have been a day where you're just like, oh, am I in it or am I not? And I think 29th or 30th is when it's really starting to become obvious that maybe you're really not all that in or committed, but let people know. So that is your astrology for the month of June, Gemini rising signs. I trust you have a wonderful month. If I can give you astrological takeaways, your chart ruler is really quick this month. So it's sort of jumping out of the frying pan and into the fire, sort of capitalizing on financial potentials, especially with livelihood or learning something. And then you're sort of actualizing. All the financial things are sort of set in stone, but once your chart really gets into Leo and you start moving and shaking out into the environment and the world and knocking shoulders with people, I think that's where you might start to really feel into self-confidence and not really depend so much on other people. I think you're well positioned to fill your own cup up more so than others and others' expectations. So I think this is an empowering month for you with the astrology. So good luck with it all, Gemini rising signs. Feel free to leave any comments in the comment section below. If you want to work with me, have a deeper look into your own chart, I can be reached at cosmicgirl101 at protonmail.com. Until next time, stay cosmic.